Welcome guys to Indian Chess Channel, and today we are going to see a famous game between Fischer and Spassky. It was played in Reykjavik in 1972. The game is a Queen's Gambit decline exchange variation. This is one of the classical games by Bobby Fischer. Okay, let's go through the game. It is c4, e6, knight f3, d5, d4, knight f6, knight c3, bishop e7, bishop g5, castle c3, h6, bishop h4, b6, and after b6, cd5, knight d5, and bishop takes e7, queen takes e7, knight takes d5, and e takes d5, and after e takes d5, the next move rook c1. All our theory, every move here is theoretical moves, and the main game starts from the next move. After bishop e6, Bobby Fischer goes queen a4. This is a classic move of Bobby Fischer. Every chess player would know that after this move, this is the famous game of Bobby. And after that, c5, and black tries to counterplay on the queen side. After c5, queen a3, pinning the c5 pawn, and rook c8, bishop b5, and a6. A6 actually here, instead of a6, black would have gone king f8 or queen b7 and removing the pin, and also for the c4 push, c4, a6, and b5 push on the queen side and making a counterplay on the queen side. Now d takes dc5 and bc5, and Bobby makes black's hanging pawns. Bobby creates hanging pawns, and after that castles, rook a7, and bishop rook a7, bishop e2, knight d7, and knight d7. Instead of knight d7, he could have gone, black could have removed, if black could have gone c5 here, c4, I mean c4. Even after c4, because even after, if black goes c4, that would be queen takes e7, rook takes e7, and knight d4, the knight comes to d4, and after knight c6, and knight takes, this would happen, and b3, knight a5, and bc4, knight c4. uh, uh, when white seems to nevertheless have a fair edge here, he has much better pawn structure and advantage of a bishop as his knight in opposition with pawns on both wings. So, but black didn't go c4. Instead, he went for knight d7, and knight d4. And Fischer would not be Fischer if he didn't have this special insight into his positions. White aims at trading the black's bishop by means of knight takes e6. This seems paradoxical at first, since it both helps black to get rid of his prospect. Is black's passive bishop. Black has a bad bishop, and it also strengthens black's pawn structure. But uh, but you must pay attention what remains on the board after a knight takes e6. It seems that white's major pieces would have been well coordinated with the light squared bishop, and eliminating that bishop is a best strategy here. So after queen f8, queen f8 is not a better move. It would have been better to go knight as f6. Uh, but still, if he goes knight f6, there would have been knight takes e6 and fe6. After fe6, fe6, white would have gone rook c2 and increasing the pressure on c5. Okay, Now after queen f8, knight takes e6, f takes e6, and e4, guys, e4. The whole point of white was this. He was preparing for e4. Black seems to have strengthened his pawn structure, but he's attacked with e4. Hanging pawns always should be attacked, guys. And after e4, there's d4, but this is a very suboptimal defense by Spassky, guys. With this move, he gives away the important c4 square. The important c4 square he gives away to white, and white can occupy it with his bishop, controlling the diagonal, important diagonal. Uh, Instead, rook could have gone rook c6 in this position. He could have gone rook c6 instead of d4, rook c6, and guarding the sixth rank. And after d4, f4, guys, f4. Since white has a majority on the king side, he goes for an he started pushing his pawns and goes for an attack there. And after queen e7, e5, guys, e5. This move fixes the e6 pawn and also creates spatial advantage for white, because if black had pushed e5, he would have got better counterplay. After then rook b8, bishop c4, guys, bishop c4, bishop comes to its optimal square, and king h8, king h8 here. Knight b6 won't work because of queen b3. After now queen comes to h3. His Bobby is aiming for his next plan. From h3, the queen is attacking the king and both the e6 pawn. And now knight f8. This move makes the knight very passive. Instead, black would have gone rook takes b2 here, and after rook takes b2, there is knight bishop takes e6, and then rook c7, and bishop d5. White has an excellent position still, but he has some work to do still. So, but black didn't go rook b2, instead put knight f8, a passive move, and b3, closing the file for the rook, and a5, f5, and Bobby goes on with his plan, opening up the diagonals and files for his pieces, and ef5, and rook f5, and knight h7, and rook cf1, and and here, if white had gone rook f7, it would have been a major mistake because of knight g5. After rook takes e7, knight takes h3 check, g takes h3, and now there is rook takes e7. The knight takes h3 moves comes with the check, so you have to be careful here. And then okay, so Bobby correctly doubles his rook on the f file, and queen d8, queen g3. Now all of white's pieces have become coordinated, and its attack cannot be stopped. And also the e5 pawn is going to be pushed. The passed pawn has no opposition. Every pieces in white's camp are coordinating. After rook bb7, h4, rook e7, e6, e6, e6. Now knight f6 will be answered by an exchange sacrifice. After rook ac7, knight queen e5, queen e8. Uh, a4, guys, this is a classic move of Bobby. He stops any kind of counterplay by black, and this is a huge psychological pressure to the opponent. And after that, queen d8, rook f. Black has no plans, and he's only defending himself, but still it's in vain. And after rook queen e8, rook to f3, queen d8, bishop d3, bishop d3, and Bobby has plans of queen bishop battery and threatening on the diagonal. And after queen e8, there is queen e4, and now there is a deadly threat of rook f8 check and knight f6, and knight f6 has come. Rook takes f6, g takes f6, and rook takes f6, and king g8, and bishop c4, bishop c4. After that, it's of no use, guys. If even queen comes over here, there is the check. Queen takes, and it's of no use, guys. White is already winning. I hope you enjoyed this game. I enjoyed this game very much. This is a very famous game. Okay, I'll meet you in another beautiful game on the next video. Thank you, guys.